Right now at noon, investigators are revealing new details about what had led to the shooting at the Super Bowl victory parade in Kansas City. We'll have the latest.
And we've had some rain, we've had some snow, and we all have colder temperatures and windy conditions out there. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, history is made as Caitlin Clark didn't just break the women's NCAA career scoring record, she shatters it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office is releasing information regarding the discovery of a body in rural Lawrence County. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office received a call regarding the discovery of a body in a field on Tuesday, February 13th, when workers on a local farm were picking up rocks. The workers found what appeared to be a body lying in an overgrown brush patch and called 911. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office responded and began working the scene along with the Lawrence County Coroner's Office. The remains located were badly decomposed and had possibly been in the area for several weeks. An autopsy was conducted and the identity was determined to be 40-year-old Larry E. Reisted of Greenfield, Missouri. Further information during the autopsy led to the determination that the cause of the death was likely a homicide. This is a developing story, and we will keep you updated as new details become available. And charges are expected today against 2 teenagers in connection with the violence at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Police say what started as a dispute became a mass shooting, killing 1 person and wounding more than 20 others, including children. Charlie Demore spoke with the family of Lisa Lopez Galvin, the woman who died.
While police pour over videos like these for evidence, families in Kansas City want to know how a Super Bowl celebration became the site of yet another mass casualty shooting in America. Lisa Lopez Galvan was there with several family members.
Lisa was the life of the party.
The local radio personality was celebrating the Chiefs' championship win when she was shot and killed. We spoke yesterday with her brother and sister.
There's an initial shock, and it feels like a bad dream.
The mother's adult son was also shot but expected to survive.
They took away his mother, his best friend. She did everything for them.
Half of the victims are under 16, the youngest just 8 years old.
We all train for this. We're all prepared to take care of these children, but it doesn't negate the fact that it's still not normal for people to see many people wounded by gunshots.
Police are tight-lipped about the 2 suspects still in custody. Video shows 1 person with a gun being tackled. 2 men, including Trey Filter, were thanked by police.
The entire time we were holding him down, people are yelling, "He's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's got a gun." When he was tackled, the gun fell, and she secured the weapon.
That weapon appears to be a large semi-automatic rifle. In a major increase this past decade, 60% of mass shootings occur in everyday places: churches, theaters, grocery stores, or at celebrations like the parade in Kansas City.
She was just really happy to be there. We did not expect the day to end like this.
And as city leaders and families discuss and determine whether these outdoor large gatherings are safe to attend, the mayor here in Kansas City vowing to move forward and host next month's St. Patrick's Day Parade. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Kansas City, Missouri.
Taylor Swift has donated $100,000 to the GoFundMe account for Lisa Lopez Galvin. And some 4-staters also witnessed yesterday's tragedy in Kansas City. KOAM's Fernanda Silva spoke to 2 of them who shared what they experienced.
Never thought a situation like this would ever happen, so that I would be a part of. So I don't know how I'm going to process the next couple of days, because the part that really rubs me wrong is that he touched me and I was there. I mean, he was right there. Like, all the what ifs go through my head.
He, according to Webb City resident Tara Yariane, is one of the suspects of being involved in the Chiefs Super Bowl parade shooting. She recalls the scary moments she lived alongside friends.
We started to walk, and then we hear this boom, 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 boom. And my friend's daughter was walking next to me, and she looked at me, and she's like, "Was that gunshots?" 30 seconds, it just wasn't very long afterwards. We hear this, "Move, move, move, move." And then he ran into me, and I was like, "Ow." And then next thing I know, he was on the ground right in front of me. by a police officer and by another just normal person tackled him.
Another 4 States resident, Daniel Ledoux, says he was only 50 yards from where the shooting happened.
Next thing I know, I'm watching paramedics, police, EMTs, and local security just taking off, running off to our left.
Ledoux took shelter inside the Union Station and then was moved to a parking garage.
Everybody's getting phone calls from family. Hey, I know you're there. You're okay. This is what we're hearing on the news. Our cell service was pretty bad, but people are trying to figure out what's going on.
But figuring out what happened was and still is a process.
Pulled into the church parking lot. As I started walking to church, I relaxed, and that's when the eyes started leaking. That's when reality hit and going, yeah, it did happen.
While dealing with emotions, they hope for a better future.
Hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year. Full confidence. The security next year at the parade is going to be so much different. And I'll be glad it's there after this.
I'm just very thankful that my son didn't witness, my 9-year-old son didn't witness any of this. I don't want to be locked up in the house for the rest of my life. We want to be able to go out and do things and do these kind of things and celebrate our Chiefs and, all the things.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
All right, we've had some rain, we've had some snow across the area. The Skywatch Storm Tracker almost right on cue. The last of the rain showers are starting to roll out of the area. We've got some snow in our northern counties, but the good news is not all of this is necessarily reaching the ground, and it's not coming down at an alarming rate. And if we look a little further out to the east of Springfield, there's lightning within the sleet, so they're getting what's known as thunder sleet out there. So it's coming down a little harder, and there's some winter weather advisories off to our east, but nothing like that for us. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. The roadways are wet, but the rain has come to a close in Joplin. However, it is still cloudy. It is still breezy out there, and that is causing it to feel much colder across the area. Started yesterday at 39, made it up to 55, so almost normal for the high, but 10 degrees above normal for the low, and temperatures have come down as expected across the area, all of us into the 30s. The warm weather is going to make a return, but we've got to get through a couple of cold periods first. We're going to talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 States region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. In light of Wednesday's shooting, teen violence and teens with firearms is something a lot of our young people are losing their lives to and making bad decisions when they get a hold of a firearm. We'll have what parents need to know. And later, we're making a steaming mocha latte in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. After the shooters from Wednesday's Kansas City Chiefs parade were identified as teenagers, many parents are now having to talk to their kids about violence and mass shootings. We hear from a Wichita City councilman and a local youth advocate about youth gun violence in the area and what can be done to prevent it.
Very easy. It's cheaper to get a gun on the street than a cell phone.
David Gilkey says he was heartbroken by Wednesday's shooting, but says this is an ongoing problem.
It just shows it's not only in Wichita, it's other places. The teen violence and teens with firearms is something that we really got to take a look at now, because a lot of our young people are losing their lives and making bad decisions when they get a hold of a firearm.
He says a change takes all of us.
It's a lot of work. It's not only going to be the police department, it's going to take the whole city and community to come together. And we can't point fingers, we can't blame anyone. We just got to start working together.
City Council member Brandon Johnson has been vocal about helping prevent youth violence in the area. He says it starts with communication.
You would see kids get into fights and say, oh, that's just kids, but now those fights are shootings, those fights are murders. Take away those weapons, that allows us, adults and caregivers, to have conversations with young people about, not solving temporary problems with permanent solutions.
Now he says drastic measures need to be taken before it's too late.
And honestly, if members of the legislature would have listened years ago to law enforcement, they would have known when they made constitutional carry a thing. Many in law enforcement said don't do it. Really took away a tool for law enforcement to keep guns out of the hands of the wrong folks. So now we're looking at the consequences of those actions by the legislature.
We have a breaking news update. 2 teens are now charged in connection to the shooting following the Chiefs rally on Wednesday. The Jackson County Family Court says they're being held on gun-related charges and resisting arrest. We'll have more coming up on KOAM News at 5. And still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
But first, we are going to talk when this cold stuff's going to be out of here and when the warmer weather returns right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we have had the cold weather roll in across the area. It began this morning in parts of southeast Kansas, and those cold temperatures came on through behind the rain and bringing at least some snow and some flurries out there as well. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us where all of that is currently located. So we've got some snow showers just north of Nevada and south of Butler on 49 and pushing off to the east towards Osceola and Stockton as well as Appleton City. However, the rest of us starting to clear out. Now, we've had some drizzle out there that doesn't really show up on radar too well, but the bulk of the heavier detectable precipitation moving out of the area. And again, if you note the lightning strikes out just to the east of Springfield, south of Rolla, that's thunder sleet and even in some cases some thunder snow that's taking place out there. So they're dealing with some heavier precip than what we got, and there are now some winter weather advisories out there as well. This will all continue to come to an end in terms of at least precipitation. However, the cold air not coming to an end, at least not for the next, say, 48 hours. 32nd and range line, MoDOT camera there looking back to the west. It's cloudy, it's dreary, it is breezy, and folks getting their day halfway done, halfway through Friday. Our camera on top of the Cornell complex, take a look at it, shaking in the wind. Look at the flags on City Hall. That north breeze is continuing to gust 30, 35 miles an hour out there. Our camera 7th and range line's been shaking a bit in the wind as well. 32 in Joplin, feels like 19. This is what we talked about this morning, where those wind chills were going to drop. So even though the air temperature didn't plummet per se, it's going to feel like it out there. North breeze at 24, gusting to 32, and temperatures around the region are much colder out there. We're talking low mid 30s. We do have some upper 30s sprinkled in here and there, but that doesn't mean anything once you factor in that breeze. All of us feeling quite frigid out there with wind chill values back around the mid to upper teens across the area. So if you have any plans tonight, bundle up because the wind's not going to let go and the temperatures will continue to gradually fall back through the evening. Here we are at 5 o'clock with those winds still gusting upwards of 20, 25 miles an hour, and that will continue overnight and into the first half of our Saturday. And by Saturday afternoon, those winds thankfully will begin to let up a bit out there. In terms of precipitation, as mentioned, that's it. We're going to contend with cloud cover as we head through the evening, and then overnight and into tomorrow, we'll have some gradual clearing. We'll have some partly cloudy skies and temperatures considerably colder, but as we talked about in the almanac, these temperatures much more seasonable for this time of year. It's just really cold because we've been really spoiled the last couple of weeks. Even when we had that snow, temperatures weren't that bad, but now they're going to get cold. As for the rest of today, again, we hit technical highs this morning in the upper 40s. We're mustering lower than this now. And it's going to continue to get colder out there. Those wind chills in the teens and 20s, and that north breeze gusting to about 30, 35 with mostly cloudy skies. Again, some gradual clearing tonight. Winds still gusting to 25. Temperatures down to the low to mid 20s. So again, that'll still make it feel a lot colder out there. And tomorrow, you saw where our average high is supposed to be. We're going to be well below average there in the upper 30s with those partly cloudy skies, and they'll continue to clear out, and then those gusty winds will begin to die down for us. As for the rest of the weekend, we will start to warm up a bit on Sunday, closer to average. And as we head into next week, we'll go back above average, even into the low 70s by next Wednesday. We have some shower chances Thursday that bring us down a little bit temperature-wise for Friday, but temperatures right back above normal as we head into next weekend. So we've just got to get through today, tomorrow, and I guess even Sunday before we get back to those spring-like temps out there.
All right, sounds good, Chris. And stick around because we're making steamin' mocha latte in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Today he's making steamin' mocha latte. Take a look.
Have you seen the crazy prices that some coffee shops charge for a simple latte? And even with that, the line is out the door. For those of us who are watching our pennies, yet aren't willing to give up our specialty coffees, here's an easy way to whip up a mocha latte at home that's budget-friendly and really yummy. The first thing we do is combine some sugar, cocoa powder, espresso powder, and a bit of cinnamon in a saucepan. After mixing it, we add some water and bring it to a boil. Once it starts to thicken up, we remove it from the heat and add a generous splash of vanilla. This is going to be the base for our lattes. In another saucepan, we heat some half and half. I usually figure 1 cup per mugful. Here we have enough for Kelly and I. Once it's hot, but not quite boiling, we pour it into a mug and add a tablespoon of our mocha latte syrup. Give it a good mix and we're good to go. It's so rich and creamy. You're gonna love it, and the best part, you don't have to deal with those long coffee shop lines or break your piggy bank to have one. To get the recipe for our steaming mocha latte, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a trendy yet thrifty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, once again, cold today out there. Those temperatures, early highs in the upper 40s. We're falling through the 30s, 20s tonight, 30s tomorrow, 20s tomorrow night, and then we start to warm back up to spring-like temperatures next week, back into the 50s, 60s, and even 70s by Wednesday with some additional rain showers by Thursday. So we just got to get through today and tomorrow, and then we're going to be back on the warm side again.
All right, we'll take it. And we're going to wrap up today's broadcast with exciting news. Caitlin Clark shatters the NCAA women's scoring record. Caitlin Clark once again made the historic seam routine, breaking the record with the logo shot that's become her signature.
Caitlin is now the #1 career scorer in the NCAA women's basketball. Clark surpassed the previous record set in 2017. The University of Iowa star now has 3,569 points, and she's still going. Clark might not be done breaking scoring records. She just needs 98 more points to break Pistol Pete Maravich's record for all of Division I basketball, men's or women's. That record has stood for 54 years.
So impressive, right?
It certainly
incredible.
Is. I'm sure that she's going to end up surpassing more records.
Absolutely. Well, coming up tonight at 5, scientists are using artificial intelligence to better detect heart disease. As cardiovascular disease kills 1 in 6 people globally, researchers hope new technology will help everyone live a longer, heart-healthy life. Plus, details on a possible new justice center for first responders for the city of Joplin. And Mercy officials talk about taking over a session via Christie in Pittsburgh. Join us for those stories and more tonight at 5. And that'll do it for today. Have a safe and happy weekend, 4 states.